Good morning and welcome to this Thursday morning, June 18th, 2020. This, as we've been calling it, the year of the pandemic, or maybe it should be the year of the Great Plague, I'm not sure. This morning's scripture reading is a continuation from yesterday, from Isaiah chapter 35. Today is verses 5 through 10, and some of this passage will sound very familiar to those of you who like Handel's Messiah. You've heard these verses all through there. This is from Isaiah 35, 5 through 10. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap like a deer, and the tongue of the mute sing for joy. For waters break forth in the wilderness, and streams in the desert. The burning sand shall become a pool, and the thirsty ground springs of water. In the haunt of jackals, where they lie down, the grass shall become reeds and rushes. And a highway shall be there, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it. It shall belong to those who walk in the way. Even if they are fools, they shall not go astray. No lion shall be there, nor shall any ravenous beast come upon it. They shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there, and the ransomed of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with singing. Everlasting joy shall be upon their heads. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and sighing will flee away. This was Isaiah's message to the people in exile, that their exile would come to an end. And my friends, a word for us that our plague, our pandemic, will come to an end. Maybe not right away, maybe not when we would like, but it will. Some words to think about this morning from Edward Bounds, his book called The Possibilities of Prayer. Prayer is not an indifferent or a small thing. It is not a sweet little privilege. It is a great prerogative, far-reaching in its effects. Failure to pray entails losses far beyond the person who neglects it. Prayer is not a mere episode of the Christian life. Rather, the whole life is a preparation for and the result of prayer. In its condition, prayer is the sum of religion. Faith is but a channel of prayer. Faith gives it wings and swiftness. Prayer is the lungs through which holiness breathes. Prayer is not only the language of spiritual life, but makes its very essence and forms its real character. Well, some answers to prayers this morning, and I said last night with our evening thoughts that we had a meeting and I would report back on it, and I did not report back last night because it was late when I got home, and I just figured I would wait until this morning, so I did. The leadership team from the church met. When I say leadership team, I mean representatives of the boards and church council, with Max as moderator presiding. And there has been a decision made, and it hinges on several factors. But the decision is to try to reopen the building on the first Sunday in July. That's a little over 2 weeks away. It's coming quickly. Some of the conditions are that everybody who is coming and participating in the live worship be willing to go by the standards that are needed to come together safely. There will be a letter come from the leadership, probably in either the Acorn or attached to the Acorn next week, that will give you details. But we will be maintaining physical distancing and the various other procedures that will allow us to come together into one closed-in space safely. Another condition would be that anybody who feels sick or is sick or has a temperature simply opts to stay home. please, if you're ill, don't come out and give whatever you have to the rest of us. It might be nothing more than a common cold, but we don't know that. So let's play it on the safe side. The other is many of you are in categories that are considered high risk, myself included. If nothing else by age, but some of us have other underlying factors: diabetes, high blood pressure, a history of cardiovascular issues, whatever the issue may be. And it may be that your doctor has told you not to come back to live worship right now, or not to come out into crowds again. And if your doctor has said that, or if you simply don't feel comfortable coming out, then by all means follow what is right for you. Nobody is going to hold it against you if you don't come to live worship, but you still prefer to stay in. It's your decision, and that decision is honored. And we will continue, one way or another, to provide something online for you. It may be me doing what I've been doing all along, or if possible, we may make some attempt to actually broadcast the live service. I don't know that will work. We don't have, at this point, appropriate equipment in hand to do that. And I'm fearful that what you would get would be a second best. You might not be able to see us or hear us appropriately. So I don't know. We're trying to figure that one out and see how that's going to work. The technology at hand isn't what maybe we would desire, and yet I'm happy and we're blessed for what we do have. The high tech for these daily thoughts and worship services and Bible studies that you've been getting right now. The height of the high tech is essentially my iPhone on a tripod. So, but we tried in the sanctuary before and it didn't work very well. So I'm not sure what we're going to end up doing that way. We'll work on something. But it's going to be our attempt to continue the online presence, not only for those of you who can't or don't want to come out to a live service, but also those of you who are farther away, so that it's not expedient to come to Fair Oaks, or maybe go to your own church where you are. We have had watchers and listeners from all over the place. I look at some of the statistics. I got a comment on one of the Sunday messages from a lady in the UK. Great. I don't know you, but if you're still watching and coming around, that's great. We're glad to have you. We're getting some family members of members from Arizona and a few other states around, and we've had quite a mix of people watching these, so we will continue them. I see this personally, and many of our leaders do, as a ministry of our church that needs to continue, so we're going to do that. Anyway, in summary, you will be getting communication either via email or by mail, possibly as an article in the Acorn newsletter coming out next week about Sunday the 5th of July and what to expect when you do come. We've been talking all along about a new normal, and that's a term that the doctors and the medical people have made up and the media has picked up on, but it is a good term. Those who are waiting for us to get back to the way things always were probably will be waiting a long time, because I don't know that we'll ever go back to where we were. It's a new normal. It'll be normal, but it'll be a lot of new things that we haven't had before. I know many of our people are so dedicated they've come out on Sundays when they've been sick and probably shouldn't have, and back in cold and flu season, people hacking and coughing and not thinking too much about it and trying very hard to be careful and not give it to anybody else. But under our new normal, if that's the way we are, we just plain and simply should not be there. Viruses are still, many of them, unknown and unpredictable. I mean, I think we've got some understanding of the common cold, but we don't stop it very well. someone gets it, and then we all end up getting it. And I think it's going to turn out to be similar with this new virus until they have perhaps a vaccine and people develop some antibodies. That certainly is the hope. So common sense has to prevail, and yet it looks like we're going to be able to see each other face to face. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people that I haven't seen for months. So that part will be good. Let's be safe. Let's be careful. Look for your communication. If you have any further questions at this point, call your deacon or trustee chairman, and they can give you details. And when we say we'll see you soon, we are definitely looking forward to seeing you soon. Okay, with all of that, I am going to take my leave. Have a wonderful Thursday. Have a blessed day today, and we will see you soon.